You see that guy? Pastor, school bus driver, and accused child molester. All right, this is out of Georgia. Let me give you the background to this story. A former pastor in Cobb County, Georgia, school bus driver was arrested March 21st on one count of child molestation. Now, it's only one count because the others who came forward, the statute of limitation has expired, all right? It is outside of that, okay? His name is Rodney Colston, 64 years of age, a former pastor at Temple Baptist Church of West Cobb in Powder Springs, Georgia. He's been their pastor for more than 20 years. Now, I'm highlighting this story for a few reasons. One, I want you to remember that real monsters do exist in the world, and for parents and youth mentors and those that have brothers and sisters who are younger, those that have cousins who are children, be vigilant. Make sure the line of communication is always available between you and that young person. According to the church's Facebook page, let's put his picture back up. Colston had stepped down in October of 2021 after his wife's death. His successor, Joshua Hahn, stated that the preacher's resignation was not due to the investigation as far as the church knows, all right? Colston had worked for Cobb County Schools and was a bus driver for 10 years and drove both high school and elementary school students. He was arrested, released on a $25,000 bond. I'm gonna go to what the Atlanta Journal-Constitution said about this, but I wanna remind everyone, we've talked about this before in Indisputable, that individuals like him, okay? People that commit these crimes, even individuals who are younger, he's an older accused individual. But even some of the younger ones we have seen in reporting that they intentionally seek these trusted opportunities around children. It is intentional, all right? The investigation into Reverend Colston began in February when another bus driver reported that the preacher had said something related to molesting 2 girls. He was so comfortable, he talked about it, according to this witness. According to an arrest warrant obtained by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, investigators identified those 2 victims who are now adults, along with a 3rd victim who is still a minor. Isn't that something? The sexual abuse disclosed by the 2 older victims is beyond the statute of limitations, but the 3rd victim, who is now 14, told investigators that the Reverend molested her about 7 years ago, when she was in 1st or 2nd grade. Details that she shared about the incident echoed some of the details shared by the other victims. He had an MO. According to the warrant, police interviewed Reverend Colston over the phone, and he admitted to molesting one of the older victims while she was asleep. The 14-year-old also told investigators about several instances in which she will wake up to see this preacher in her doorway staring at her. Okay? I know this is sickening. I know this is difficult to hear, but it is important. It's important because I believe there are more victims, and this story needs to have more legs to it for people to feel empowered to come forward. He has destroyed the innocence of many. That is my opinion of it. I think more victims are going to come out very soon. When school officials were asked about their cooperation with the investigation, a district spokesperson sent the following statement and said, and I quote, "We understand this individual has been arrested for allegations in Rome, Georgia, and do not involve Cobb or Cobb students. Although he has resigned his position with the district, we will continue to provide support as needed to the Cobb Police Department and their ongoing investigation." Now, Cobb County, here's what I gotta say to you. Your statement is foolish, okay? Your statement is foolish. You don't think he's either molested or tried to molest children in the Cobb County school system? You may say one thing in your narrative, but damn it, you better be investigating, asking the right questions. And why do we know about this? He admitted to it. Why do we know this happened? Why is he being held accountable at least somewhat? Because a person who did not have to get involved did. A person who heard him talking said, you know, if he's telling the truth, that means he molested a child, or at least 2 children that we know of. But those individuals are not children anymore, they're adults. But that person who heard him say this, they went to investigators, and those investigators did their jobs, okay? It's called the power of one. You have the ability to change the world. You don't think the world has changed for these victims of his? I mean, there's a bit of relief now. The person that probably changed their lives in a significant way, in a negative way, will be held accountable for what they did. One person did that, all right? Okay, Brett, thoughts here?
It always weirds me out when I hear statute of limitation on child issues like that. Because, while the statute of limitation might run out, the effect it has on the individual who's the victim never does. We all know that. I did some research, and luckily for civil cases, it's in Georgia, inclusive of Georgia, there are extensions past when the statute of limitations runs out. And the cutoff for changes in that law was 2015, which is around 7 years ago. And if that's when this victim was there, and who knows how many came before. And the last thing I'll say is to say that nothing happened to people in Cobb County. Look at the kinds of roles this person gravitated toward. They are roles where people give them the most trust. And this person's other job was not someone who's, in a assembly line or far away from children. It was where he is in direct contact with children. So don't tell me that in that other role where he was given infinite trust, he didn't take advantage of it the same way.
Yeah, and they have clear evidence that he's likely a serial child molester, but somehow 10 years driving the bus, there's no issue here at all. Has nothing to do with us. Ridiculous.